Of that, there is zero doubt. If what they truly wanted, which is what they claim, is nuclear energy, well, they could have nuclear energy like all the other countries in the world have it. And that is you import the fuel and you build reactors above ground. That's not what Iran has done. They build their reactors and their facilities deep in mountains, away from the public glare. And they want to enrich that material. The same equipment that they could use to enrich material for energy, they could use to quickly enrich it to weapons grade. So it is clear that they've been offered every opportunity to have a nuclear program that allows them to have energy, not weapons, and every single time they have turned it down. But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them, and they were well on their way. We were on the verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future. That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possess nuclear weapons. And under no circumstances can they be allowed to hide and protect that program and their ambitions behind a shield of missiles and drones that no one can do anything about. This was our last best chance to eliminate that conventional threat, that conventional shield that they were trying to build, and the president made the right decision to wipe it out now. That is the goal of this operation, to destroy their conventional missiles and their drone program so they can't hide behind it and finally have to deal with the world seriously about never, ever having nuclear weapons.
Looking for a fast way to track what's moving online right now? Head over to Qnotables.com. It's a centralized index of notable clips, headlines, and references being shared across the community, organized for quick browsing. Use it to spot patterns, pull links, and build your own research list. Qnotables.com. Browse the notables, verify the facts, stay informed. All reports can be found on qresearch or qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here. Iran update: President Trump is set to deliver a 9 p.m. Eastern address to the nation on Iran as the White House signals that the current military campaign could reach a decisive phase within weeks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says this is the moment to eliminate Iran's nuclear threat before it matures further. While Iranian state television is airing footage of IRGC Aerospace Chief Majid Mousavi visiting missile operators and underground launch positions. The message from both sides is clear. Pressure is building, the region remains unstable, and the next moves could define the broader conflict. Birthright citizenship. A major constitutional fight is now underway over birthright citizenship, with the Supreme Court reviewing the legal foundation of automatic citizenship for children born in the United States to parents who are in the country illegally or temporarily. The case goes directly to the meaning of the 14th Amendment and could produce one of the most consequential immigration rulings in decades. The administration is treating the matter as a central test of federal authority and constitutional interpretation. Trump and the cities. President Trump is calling on major American cities to ask for federal help in fighting violent crime, naming Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles as places where stronger intervention may be needed. He says public safety must be restored ahead of major events like the Olympics and the World Cup, and is framing the issue as a basic duty of government. The comments add to a broader law and order push now taking shape in national politics. White House power and press. President Trump is also defending plans for a new White House ballroom, saying executive property improvements have long been carried out without direct congressional approval. At the same time, he is escalating his criticism of legacy media, saying public trust in the press has collapsed and warning that the loss of credibility is damaging the country. Together, the remarks reflect a presidency pushing hard against both institutional limits and media opposition. California fire response. President Trump says he met with political representatives tied to the California fire disaster and is pressing insurers, including State Farm. to treat homeowners fairly as thousands continue dealing with loss and claims disputes. Federal review is now underway as pressure grows over how insurance companies are handling damaged properties and delayed payouts. The administration is signaling it intends to stay involved as rebuilding battles continue. Melania Trump Global Summit. First Lady Melania Trump convened first spouses from 45 countries at the White House for a summit focused on artificial intelligence and education. The event featured an American-built humanoid robot and was presented as a major international gathering centered on how new technology will shape classrooms, workforce readiness, and future generations. The summit placed AI and education diplomacy at the center of the White House agenda. Kennedy Center Spotlight. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump attended opening night of Chicago at the Kennedy Center, turning a high-profile cultural event into another political and symbolic moment in Washington. The appearance comes as the institution's direction and leadership remain part of a larger national fight over culture, influence, and control of legacy institutions. DeSantis and Florida courts. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed Missy's Law, requiring detention after conviction for certain violent and sexual offenders while they await sentencing. The law follows the killing of 5-year-old Missy Muggle, whose accused killer had remained free on bond after an earlier conviction. DeSantis is now also moving to impeach Judge Tiffany Baker, saying her refusal to revoke bond set the stage for tragedy and exposed a dangerous failure in the justice system. Judicial system backlash. The fallout from that Florida case is feeding a wider national argument over whether the court system is protecting the public or enabling repeat offenders to stay on the street. Critics are increasingly targeting what they describe as a due process machine that shields dangerous people while victims and families pay the price. Judicial accountability is now becoming a sharper political issue well beyond Florida. Election integrity. The Trump administration has signed a new executive order targeting mail-in voting, requiring secure ballot envelopes with barcodes, verified voter lists, and tighter ballot controls nationwide. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says the system is moving toward one envelope per vote with postal tracking tied directly to election handling. At the same time, James O'Keefe's latest California voter fraud video is keeping election procedures under renewed scrutiny, adding to the pressure for broader reforms before the 2026 cycle. Oregon Peace ACT. In Oregon, Initiative Petition 28, known as the Peace Act, has become a major fight over hunting, fishing, livestock, and private land rights. Supporters say the measure closes loopholes tied to animal cruelty. Opponents say it opens the door to criminalizing ordinary rural life, including activities carried out legally on private property. The proposal is turning into one of the state's most controversial ballot fights.
At shop.isitwaya.com, everything you buy supports Qn.top, the place where people talk freely no matter what. Check out our Qn Honey Pot, a jar of yummy honey that's as strong as your voice. Put it on toaster and tea. It's not just honey, it's freedom in every bite. Then there's Qn Butter, a smooth handmade skin cream that makes you feel good while you fight for what's right. Awesome wood and pieces for display only. Hang them up or set them out. They're for showing off Qn's tough spirit. Want to help even more? Get a proto membership. So go to shop.isitwaya.com now and grab some goodies. Help Qn.top keep free speech alive, and let's keep the ideas flowing loud and free.
All reports can be found on QResearch or Qnotables.com. Notables do not equal endorsements. We are researchers who deal in open source information, reasoned argument, and dank memes. We do battle in the sphere of ideas and ideas only. We neither need nor condone the use of force in our work here. From the Q Research Board's April 1st, 2026 Iran strategic pressure, Iranian media footage showing senior missile commanders at underground launch sites is being broadcast as a message of readiness as the pressure campaign intensifies. At the same time, Washington is openly arguing that the current operation could permanently degrade Tehran's nuclear path. The conflict is now moving on two fronts at once: direct military pressure and a public battle over resolve, deterrence, and escalation. Tommy Robinson, Florida appearance. British activist Tommy Robinson has been filmed attending the Zionist Organization of America's 2026 Gala in Florida, adding another chapter to his growing visibility inside U.S. conservative and pro-Israel circles. The appearance is drawing international attention as Robinson continues building political relationships outside the United Kingdom while remaining a controversial figure at home. Courtney Ruska fraud case. Former congressional staffer Courtney Melissa Ruska has pleaded guilty to wire fraud after using access to a congressperson's bank account to pay her own credit card bills. Federal prosecutors say the scheme involved multiple unauthorized transactions totaling more than $22,000. The case is another reminder of how insider access in government can be turned into direct financial abuse. Hegseth and the Kid Rock flyby. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has lifted the suspension of Army helicopter crews involved in the highly publicized flyby near Kid Rock's Tennessee home. The Army had reviewed the incident after videos showed Apaches operating close to the property during what it described as a training mission. Hegseth shut the matter down, saying there will be no punishment and no further investigation. Kid Rock response. Kid Rock helped drive that story into the national spotlight by posting video of the flyby and taking a shot at California Governor Gavin Newsom, saying it showed a level of respect Newsom would never understand. The post turned a military review into a larger cultural and political flashpoint almost instantly. Military vaccine health questions. New reporting on military personnel and COVID-19 vaccination is renewing focus on cardiac stress markers and myocarditis-related concerns inside the armed forces. The debate is now centered on what long-term monitoring has shown, what questions remain unanswered, and whether more transparency is needed regarding health effects in service members. The issue is expected to remain active as military medical data continues to be examined. Underground city claims. Claims are again circulating that the United States secretly spent trillions building vast underground infrastructure tied to missing or undocumented federal funds. Former Bush official Catherine Austin Fitts has pushed the allegation back into public discussion, linking it to long-running questions over massive accounting adjustments inside government spending records. The story remains a high-interest subject in alternative media and among watchdog communities tracking unexplained federal expenditures. Artemis II. NASA is preparing for Artemis II, the first crewed mission to orbit the moon in more than half a century. The 4-astronaut flight will test the Orion spacecraft and Space Launch System in a mission designed to pave the way for future lunar operations. It marks a major return to deep space human flight and a defining step in the next phase of the American space program. Matt Gaetz' UFO claims. Former Congressman Matt Gaetz is drawing attention after saying alien hybrid breeding programs are real and that he encountered related information through classified channels. The remarks have reignited interest in the growing intersection of politics, defense secrecy, and UFO disclosure. The claim is already moving fast through online political and unidentified aerial phenomenon communities. Obama Civics message. Former President Barack Obama used National Run for Office Day to direct people toward RFS civics and encourage more Americans to step into public life. The message was aimed at building future candidates, strengthening civic participation, and encouraging local engagement ahead of upcoming elections. Closing note. From constitutional battles and election reform to Iran, crime policy, federal power, and emerging technology, the pressure points are multiplying across every major front. Tonight's picture is one of acceleration. Faster policy moves, sharper political contrasts, and rising stakes at home and abroad.
Every voice matters. The power of free speech is more important than ever. Imagine a place where you can share your thoughts freely, explore new ideas, and engage in meaningful conversations anonymously. With online anonymity, you can express yourself without fear of judgment. It's about freedom, creativity, and connection. Join the conversation that matters. Embrace your voice. Celebrate your freedom. Visit 8kun.top today. That's 8kun.top.
That's all for now. Stay alert, stay informed, and never hand your thinking over to anyone on a screen, including me. God bless you, God bless our troops, and God bless the United States of America. See you soon.